Hi, my name is Anne, and we're going to be looking at Canvas Workspace today and doing a small project using files that you can find actually in Workspace. So you don't need any additional pen holders or anything else. You can use your machine straight from the box with this. It is a very basic tutorial. Sorry, I got lost for words then. So you don't need anything, as I say, it's nothing fancy. So it's just a heart card. So I'm going to go into Brother Workspace, and I'm using this actually on my machine, on my laptop, but you can actually use it directly from the website. This gives you an introduction into the latest version of Canvas. And then you have also this page always pops up, and it gives you lots of different ideas, and it gives you all the files for making loads of different projects free from Brother. So I'm going to open my Canvas space up directly. If you think you may need to actually update your machine, your workspace, you just go check for update. And when I check there, it says software version is the latest, but if it wasn't, you would download it from here. You can also go up to help and check that your machine, whatever your machine, mine is particularly it's an SDX, is also up to date with its settings. Now I'm going to just bring on a file that I did earlier today, just to show you what we're going to be doing. So we're going to make this card here. It's in lots of different pieces, so I shall just put that all back together again to show you, and I will leave that on the side. I'm going to group that all for now, and I'll show you how to do that later, but I'm going to put this over here so you can actually see what we're going to do and what it will look like. But there's also a card base under this. So I'm going to go down here. We have shapes, and you've got a little slider here. So I'm going to go down as far as the hearts. And here we have 3 different hearts. So I'm going to bring on a plain heart, and I'm also going to bring on this heart, which is the scalloped heart. Now I'm going to make this one a, I'm going to make this a red. Okay, and this one I'm just going to make pink for the time being, although it will be red ultimately. So I'm going to make it a pale pink. Okay, so if I was to line this up, these 2 hearts up, which was a rookie mistake that I made the first time I did this file, I just assumed that the two hearts were the same size, but when you put them right over each other, you'll find that they're not. So if you go to the second icon down on the far right side, you've got edit here. So I'm going to select these 2 files, and I'm going down here to align, and I'm going to align center, and I'm going to align middle center. And as you'll see, if I make this slightly bigger, up here you can make the file bigger, that in actual fact you've got the red outline showing of the base card, what will be the base card, which is this one here. So first of all, I would suggest that this is going to be your biggest item, this one here. So I want this to be a 6-inch square. So I'm going to go over to edit, width and height, and make sure you have maintain aspect ratio. And I'm going to make that 6 inches. And as you will see, it's made the height 6 inches as well. So now I need to actually make this a similar size, but slightly smaller. So I'm going to click on it first of all and arrange bring to front. And as you see, that's come from the back to the front. Now, if this was a base card, it would look pretty silly because it's not big enough. So I'm going to make this, and because it's highlighted, you click on it and you can actually have a box around it. I'm going to make this approximately, let's say 5.5. And because aspect ratio is actually still connected, when I return, it will be, and when I put that in the middle, it's roughly the size I want it to be. What I can do is select all of them. So I just click off anywhere on the screen, pull a box around both of them, and I can go back down here to align, middle and middle, and you can see that that actually fits perfectly within the confines of that. So I now have my 6-inch square topper and my slightly smaller piece for the base card. Now I'm going to move this topper right the way down there because in actual fact I want 2 of these. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can click on this and you can go up here to edit, copy, and then edit, paste. But the easiest way to do that is to get used to doing, if you're not used to it, is to use Control-C on your keyboard and then Control and V. And now you have a duplicate of the heart. And we want to join these 2 together. But before I join them, I want to make a little foot for this to stand on. Because otherwise, if it's standing on a point, it's going to be a bit rocky, to say the least. Actually, I think, should I put on afterwards? No, I'll put it on now. So if I go up a little bit, I've got these little things here. So I could use that one, or I can use that one, or that one. I don't think I'll use that one, so I'm going to delete that. I could use that one, but in actual fact, it's not a very good shape for here. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to bring this one on, and I'm going to turn it. I want to turn it 90 degrees. So I can just put my finger on the shift key and turn this like this, and it will go at each angle. So when I come down here, it will be completely straight. As I've taken my finger off the key, it's not. So take your finger off, leave your finger on, take your finger off the key afterwards. And I can actually just then put this in here anywhere I like to make a little foot for it to sit on. So I'm going to just select the back of the card and this, and I'm going to center it, but I don't want to center it in the middle because otherwise it will be up there, which is not what I want. I want it down here. So I'm going to pull this back down here, and I don't need it to overhang it an awful lot. So I'm going to click on both pieces and center. So that is completely in the middle. Now I want to join these 2 pieces together. So I need to actually pull a box around both pieces. And then if you slide your cursor down, you'll see process overlap. And we have weld, divide, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat, remove, and subtract. Well, in this case, we want to weld it. We want to join it together. So I'm just going to click on weld. And as you can see, it's actually joined one piece to the other, which is perfectly what I want. Now I want to actually join these 2 pieces together, but I need to make sure that they are the same height because there's no point joining them like that because it would be very strange. So I'm going to click on both pieces, and I'm going back up to this align box. And as you can see, there's a line left, middle, right, top, middle, bottom. Now I don't want to align it on the bottom because this is going to be in the wrong place. So I need to align it on the top. And then I just need to decide how much I need to be joined. And I don't need an awful lot. I can just use my arrow keys on my keyboard and move that over a little bit. And for me, that is the perfect alignment. So I'm going to select all. And again, I'm going to weld further down here. So this is the weld key. And there you go. So this is my base card, which I'm going to make red again so you can see it. Red. Okay. So this is going to be the inside and front, inside, back. When I cut this, I shall cut it with the color facing up. So I have the color on the inside of my card. This will then come up here, and I'm going to bring this bring to front. And this will actually sit on top of it to make your topper. And that will be the back, which won't be exposed. So that is the first part of the card. The other part I need is some text. So I'm going to go to this middle column here. We've got shapes, you've got borders, and we've got words. And here you've got lots of different words. that you can choose from. And I'm going to just choose a very simple word that is down here, which is true love, because it's Valentine's Day. So there we go. I'm going to bring that on. And now I don't actually need this all. I've got all the elements I need. So I don't need to see all this here. So I'm going to click on shapes, and it's just going to move this to the side, and it's going to give me much more space to look at and to work on. So I'm going to put that up there, and I'm going to move this over here, this over there for now, because I don't want that just yet. Now, if you go along here, you can see I've got one in red, one in pink, one in red with a cutout. So this one, in actual fact, now is going to be coloured red. So I'm going to click on that, click on the fill colour, and just make that red for now. Okay. I want to copy this, so I could go up here, as I said before, to layer. No, I wouldn't. It's to. I always get a muddle here because I don't use it. Oh yes, copy and paste under edit. Of course it's under edit, it's because this is under edit. But I'm going to do Control C and Control V. You can also go to duplicate. There's a duplicate to fill the pages, but I don't want to fill the page. Now I want to make this pink because that's going to be my next layer. So I'm going to just click on pink. Doesn't matter what color pink. And there we go, but that's exactly the same size. So obviously I want it smaller. So I can actually reduce it by I here, Control, and press the Shift button and bring it up and down as much as I like, or I can Control Z to take it back to where it was. Now I want this to be slightly smaller. So I'm going to go here and resize. So this is still under edit. I'm going to resize. Oh, I have to click it. I have to obviously select it first, otherwise it doesn't know what I'm actually resizing. I don't think it has resizing on this side here. No, it doesn't. I can oh, here it has. You have resize by scale here as well. So I'm going to resize by scale, or I can go up to edit there and resize. So I'm going to go resize by scale. At the moment it's 100%, and we want to maintain aspect ratio. So I want to make this maybe 80% less. So if I put in 80 there, or I can use the arrow buttons there and press OK, you can see it's a lot smaller. Is that too small? No, I don't think it's too small. No, maybe it is. So as I think that's too small, I can just press Control and then Z on my keyboard, and it will make it bigger. Control Z, Z. Okay, until it comes back to the size. So now I've decided I want to resize it to maybe 85%, or I can just click down, and as you can see there, it's going down. So I think 80% is too small, 90 is a bit too much, so I'm going to do 85 and press OK. So I think that's a little bit better. That's perfect. That's what I want. And then I'm going to go Control V again, because I've already got this is already been copied, and I want to make that 65% because I want it even smaller. So we're going to try 65% and see what it looks like. 65. And to me, does that look? Yes, that looks quite in keeping. So I can press OK. And then if I want to, I can just align all these three so I can see what they look like. So align center and align middle. And there we have it. Now we have True Love here, which is a cutout. And as we can see, it's going to be far too big for this middle piece. Oh, also, as you can see, it's actually in between layers, and I need it to be at the front. So I need to left click on that on your mouse, arrange, and bring to front. And all of a sudden you'll find that it's at the front. So I'm going to make this smaller, and I don't know how much smaller I need to make it. So I'm going to do it by eye. So you can grab any of these corners here, and you can see it changes to an arrow. And when it's changed to the arrow, I'm going to press my finger on the Shift key, because that will actually keep it in the actual ratio that it was built in. And that is actually just a little bit too tiny, a tiny bit too big. So I'm going to do a little bit more. until I know that it fits in, and I can see that that totally and utterly fits in there. So I'm going to pick up this layer, and I'm going to pick up this, and I'm going to actually, I think if I go middle and that, it will be too low on it because it's going there, but I would prefer to have it perhaps even maybe a tiny bit smaller. So I'm going to shift and bring my arrow in a little bit more. And I'm just going to select both and make sure that that is in the middle, but I don't want it in the middle, top and bottom, because obviously the bottom bit is lower. Now this is a cutout. So all you need to do is select both of those and go back down to the weld function again and weld that. And I've done it the wrong way around. So Control Z. So this has to be on the top. Yes, that's correct. And that. So if I click, no, it's not weld in actual fact because I'm joining them together. So I'm telling you an untruth. So it's good that I show you this. So select them again. So I'm not going to weld them. I'm not going to divide them. I'm not going to remove the overlap, but I'm going to subtract. And there you go. I have taken out that true love. And then when I put it back here, you can see that you have, oops, a cutout in your little heart. Right, the last thing, or last but one thing really we have to do now is to just actually put a dotted line along here so we can fold this either forwards or backwards to be the foot that the card stands on. So my first suggestion would be to move your file up to a point where you've got this point, the left-hand point, actually on one of the lines, on one of the grid lines, because we need to put our dotted line along here and not up here, because if we put it up there, then the fold will be too high, and the card will be tilting backwards when you open it. So for this, we need to go to the path line, which is here. And we're going to click on this, and as you see, you get a little dot. Okay, so find where this line is, follow this line along, and when you get to where the line is there, just go slightly in from the edge, click on there, hold the shift key down, which will make it go straight, and just pull the line across to almost the other side. And I can see an actual, and double click to end the line. Now I can see in actual fact, if I make this slightly bigger, that I'm a little bit far down on the line. This is on the line, but this is actually, I can see that's just a fraction down. So with it selected still, I'm just going to push up, nudge it up until I'm just about there. Now, at the moment, this line is going to be a solid line, and we don't want it to be a solid line because if it's a solid line, it will just cut a line in a hole in the middle. Here, just cut a line in the middle there. So, and also if we click off it, we can see that it's a solid line. So I need to click back on it again. And as you see, in actual fact, it's behind this because I can't actually click on that there. So I've double clicked on it, okay? And now we have up here, we've got all our options up here, and we've got the width of the line. Well, one point is absolutely fine, but we want to make it a dashed line. And you can see you've got little dashes, bigger dashes, etc., or longer dashes. So I would suggest that maybe this one here, separated out dashes, would be fine. So just click on that. And when you click off anywhere off there, you will see that this has changed to a dashed line, and it looks as if it's in roughly the right place. So I'm going to reduce this down up here again. And what I need to do is I need to select all of this, including that line. And you can see that I've selected it all because I've dragged the box around both sides, and this is in blue and the heart is in blue. Now we want to group this together so that we can move it without this line moving. So we can go up to our edit box, and we can, no, it's not actually an edit. it's in layer. Sorry, it's in layer because I don't use these commands. This is why I'm not sure. And we can go down here to group, but also you can see it says Control G. So we just click on that, or you just do Control G. And now when I move this round, as you can see, it's moving as one piece. So I need to make sure now that this is within the red lines. Okay, so that's just there. And I'm actually going to export all this as one file to my machine. And when I cut it, obviously this will be a different layer, a different piece. So I want to cut all these pieces. They probably won't. And if I've got a 12 by 12, then I can cut it on one sheet of paper. But if not, I might have to cut this piece. So I'd have to move these three pieces when I've actually imported it into my machine. So the way to do that is to actually just, when you're on your scan and cut, just click on the piece and just delete it. Delete, 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 because you won't need those up there. I'm not going to do that just yet because obviously I want to file this before I do. But what you must not do is actually, whoops, come here you, is not group any of these, because if you group them, once they're on the machine, they will stay grouped. Okay, so I'm going up here to File, and I'm going to Save As, and I'm going to say Heart Card, Save. So that's it's saying it already exists because I've already obviously saved it. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Now, the last thing that you're going to do is when you cut this, on this True Love here, you're going to get, I don't know if you can see, let me get a little pen, just around here, you can see there's a little piece of red, and you've also got the little piece of red in the R, in fact, just there, that little piece there. So in actual fact, when you cut this piece here, just this piece, what you need to do is you need to, when you lift this piece off the mat, you will be left with actually True Love as a block of text. So you can put it on the front of the card, or you can put it on the back inside as well if you wish to. But these two pieces here, you'll have to very carefully lift off your mat, and keep them, because when you put this on here, although it shows there, it won't show this piece, and this piece will be pink because those will be left on your mat. So you need to remember just to, when you lift this off your mat, to make sure you pick out those two pieces. This would be in there, so you have to lift the heart off very carefully. The E will be in there, the V and the L, and this piece will be in there because it's all attached. But these two pieces aren't attached to anything, so you'll need to put those in. So we've saved it. We just need to now go up to File, Export to FCM. Oops, some objects are outside the cutting line, so I've actually got something outside the cutting line. So I can press OK, which is a good, and as you can see that this here, these two pieces here, oops, not those two pieces are actually not inside the cutting line. So that could go up a little bit as well, and that's just doesn't matter because that's not going to cut anything. So now hopefully everything is within this red box. Once everything's within that red box, if you've got it and you look at it and you can see that everything's in the red box and you're still getting that message, just make this much smaller, because you might have something sitting out here that you've forgotten about that you can delete. So just make it smaller. So anyway, we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Export FCM, and now, as you can see, it's come up fine because everything's in there. We can export it as an FCM file. We can transfer it via the internet, or we can transfer it to our machine via a USB cable. I'm going to transfer it via the internet, so I should click on that, and it will tell me, yes, it's already done that, it sent it, which my machine is in a different room. So it's gone wirelessly up to my machine. So that is everything. Yes, that's everything. So when I've cut the card out, I shall come back and I shall just show you the card that's been made out. And I hope you enjoy this little file. As you can see, I've started putting the card together. This is the inside of the card. So this is the red heart that we had. This is the other red heart, but I've actually cut out a second heart in white so that I can actually write on it. This is the foot that the card is going to sit on. This is, I've actually just creased down the middle there. I did it by eye because I wanted it to match up. You could have put a dotted line down here, but I decided it was probably easier to do that. And now I have my true love. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, we're missing the little bit out of the R and from the top of the heart there, which this is the piece that actually cuts out. So you can see that all the other pieces, these pieces have all stayed within the file, but these two little bits weren't linked to anything. So you've got a little bit of a gap there. So I'm just going to put you on pause and I'm going to stick the two pieces in and I'll show you how different it looks. In actual fact, the best way to get it in is to take this piece here and to place it back into the cutout, and you can see the two places that you need to put it. So you can actually really easily, you can put the glue on there and there and get your pieces in correctly. So I'm putting you back on pause again to do that myself. So as you can see, I've put the two pieces in and then I'm just going to have to tease this out again. So just take a little time to do it, and there we go. There we have it. True Love. And it's a very pretty card, I think. And I'm just doing this one-handed, so it's difficult to stand it up. But the foot you can either use, there we go, that's stood up. You can either do it standing forward or you can push it backwards, the foot. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this file, and if you need any further help, please don't hesitate to ask me. Look after yourselves. Thank you. Bye-bye.